We getting this show
I
on the
started
road?
recording.
Oh,
That's okay.
great.
I'll just take
We're
off
back.
the front.
We're back.
Oh, great.
So
Oh,
excited
great.
to be here.
It's March 4th, and this is for February.
Listen, it's Danielle's fault.
It is my fault. I was
all Danielle's
so busy last month. Oh my God. It was dumb.
And she was like, I don't want to record the podcast at all. That's just what she said. to me.
Yeah, I did. Honestly, I was like, yeah, we
I'm
could
so
probably skip a
surprised.
month if you wanted. I really did say that to you.
You really did. I wasn't going there, but damn.
Yeah, no, I did actually say that. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know how the life of Morgan was looking.
Dull. I'm here.
Can I tell you, this morning, I had the most adult day today.
Oh,
Woke
God.
up 8:30, took a shower. Well, not took a shower. Went, worked out, and then we came back, and our water. They had to turn our water off because there's a leaking pipe. So we didn't
lovely.
have water after we worked out. So we went and shoveled because our apartment didn't shovel very well. So we shoveled, cleared off our cars. Then we came back inside, did our taxes, finished our taxes. Yeah, we did so many adult things. Then after that, we went to the new library, got library card, and then we got Taco Bell.
And then
I shat my pants.
I didn't mean that. I meant you taking a nap.
Oh, I took a 5-minute nap.
Wow. I literally just read, made breakfast, played video games.
Nice. I did have video games in between because my taxes took 20 minutes. I don't have much to file, so
that's true.
It's an easy life when you're a hermit and you don't do shite.
Oh my God.
How's
sorry.
Morgan is also tired.
I was up last night gaming until like midnight, and I forced myself to get off because I didn't want to be on gaming until 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. What were you guys playing? DVD, right? I saw you guys playing DVD.
We were playing DVD for a while, and then we were playing Fortnite. And then I was like, I need to go to bed. Because the people that I was playing with will stay up until like 3:00 in the morning playing. So I was like, I need to get off now.
Those are the best kinds of nights, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And we were having like a really good time when you look at the clock and you're like, oh boy, I gotta go to bed.
Yes. We were having the time of our lives last night. Like, we were just fucking around. And honestly, it was so much fun.
Those were the best times. I love that.
But I can't do that tonight. I can't.
But you're gonna.
I probably will. Yeah. I probably will.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Struggle is real.
Can we talk about how big of a nerd Morgan is? Morgan, how long have you had Hogwarts Legacy?
Listen, you don't need to be disrespectful to me. I bought it. I got the pre-order, so whatever.
So it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Hold on. No. It's been a month almost.
No.
So I didn't start playing it until the 9th.
Of February. Oh yeah, so it's been a month.
It's been about a month. However, I beat it like last week, so I beat it in 2 weeks.
I have high respect for that. Respect.
What? I listen, 2 things. I only beat the like story quest. I didn't beat the entire like side quest. I've done the side stuff, but like I'm not done with it.
Yeah.
There's so much side stuff that I still haven't done yet. The story I beat.
Got it.
Everything I'm still playing it. Nolan beat it twice.
Yeah, that guy's twice?
Twice. Yes. He beat it twice. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting so far. And he was like, wow, get better. I already beat it and I'm halfway through my second run.
He's such a fuck.
And I was like, wow, okay, just be happy for me for once. But yes, I beat it. And I was talking to Lauren today, actually, and she's like, I just keep doing side quests, so I don't think I'm very far in the main quest.
Yeah, I think I'm like maybe 15% on the main quest because I get distracted. I run around, I'm like, ooh, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I don't like that. That needs to be a clip.
Oh, well, don't worry.
Just so you can you need to just zoom in.
Yeah,
slowly.
just that it's like.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Holy. Anyway.
But I feel like Hogwarts Legacy also affected my reading month. Like, it came out and I was like, fuck reading.
Yeah. I mean, if we weren't moving and we're like going on vacation, I would be spending, thank you, Mike. I'd be spending way too much time playing that game. Like, we snuck in the most amount of time we could play with in that game.
Yeah.
So I will be playing it tonight. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I also want to play it tonight. Eyeballs.
Okay, you can't say anything though, because since you've already
Danielle, why would I spoil that for you?
I don't know.
Why would have I ever spoiled anything for you?
No.
All right then.
Except for when you said there's a podcast in the second.
Oh my god! I didn't knowingly spoil that.
It's not even a spoiler. It's just really funny to bring it up.
You want to know what's funny? I have to talk about one of those books today.
Do you? Oh yeah, you have to talk about the prequel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I will not say anything. I'm going to be doing side quests, so you're not going to see any spoilers, and I will not say anything if you want to hang out and play it together.
Okay,
thanks. Anyway,
this is everybody just got a full look into our actually what our friendship is really like.
So also I haven't seen Danielle in a month.
Yeah, literally. It's because I've been moving. Listen, we've been moving, and then we had to go. Well, we didn't have to go. I mean, we went on vacation.
You had to go to the beach. I
had to go to Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to Florida for a week, and it was glorious.
But this is like the first time I'm like talking.
Yeah, like
talking to
chatting.
Danielle, other than the other day in the parking lot for.
Oh my god, this asshole! I come out of my freaking office. Morgan's honking her horn like a fucking heathen.
Yep, just laying on the horn.
And then she leaves and does it again, and I'm like, I hate you.
Yep.
Did you hear me say that?
Oh no, I didn't hear you say that. I just saw you turn back, so I assumed that you were talking shit. But
yeah, you're funny.
You shit talker.
You're funny. You're funny lady.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
What episode is this? Is this episode 2?
This is 2.
Oh my god.
Season 2, episode 2.
Wow, and we came prepared for you guys today.
We're always prepared. You know what?
So prepared.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, this is my motto right now.
Fuck it?
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it and shit your pants.
Fuck it and shit your pants.
That's your motto.
The t-shirt.
Yes, it literally is.
Do you know what bofa is?
I'm not answering you. Go fuck yourself. That's what it is. Gonna set me up for that.
Okay, anyway. Tell me if you know what bofa is. Come on, put it in the comments. Anyway.
Did you just learn that?
No, do you want to hear a really funny story?
You're gonna tell me anyway, so
we're coming out of the Walmart parking lot in Florida, and it was me, Mike's mom, Mike's dad, and Mike, and Annie. Was Annie with us?
Yeah.
And Annie, and Mrs. Campbell's like, "What's going on over there in the parking lot over there?" And Mike goes, "It's Bofa," and she just ignored him, and he kept going, "It's Bofa." And then his mom was hangry, and she goes, "What's Bofa?" It goes, "Bofa D's nuts."
Oh my god.
Oh, it was really funny.
Poor Mike's mom.
She's so sweet because then she literally started dying laughing.
At least she took it well and she didn't beat the shit out of it.
She died. She was like,
oh my god.
Oh, it was so good. So good. What were you going to say? I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, I was going to say, do you want to talk about the alcohol? Because you got it this month.
I did.
We should get the show on the road.
I know. We've been talking for 11 minutes. All right.
Too long.
It was my month. And I was like, I got to get the alcohol. And I was every time we went to Target one day for, I don't know what the heck we got, but we went in the food aisle and I was like, I'm going to see what's in the alcohol section. And I saw an angel halo came down in the alcohol aisle.
Frozen section at Target.
The alcohol aisle. It was like, this is what you're going to have this month. And they are spiked Arnold Palmers.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of you guys have had this before. but I haven't, and
Yeah, I haven't had that.
Morgan hasn't. So I was like,
No.
this is an interesting and new thing.
And guess what?
It's probably gonna taste like cheek.
No, I was gonna say, guess what? I actually refrigerated it this time, so mine's
So
cold.
it's probably gonna taste beautiful.
Yes.
I like Arnold. Like, okay, so I have a feeling that I probably won't like fully enjoy this right now because Arnold Palmers are summery for me. I just like them in the summer.
Turn up your heat and think it's the summertime, you know?
Oh, okay. Oh, baby. Oh, God. Does it smell like ass?
Smells like an Arnold Palmer. Oh, I almost just licked that, but that would have given me the taste.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, Morgan.
Bad.
It's not bad.
It just tastes like an Arnold Palmer.
It does. It really does. I'm really surprised that it's not very alcohol-y.
Also, the can is very much colder than the contents of it, so it's like not that cold on the inside, but the can is freezing.
That's pretty good. I would drink that again. But like, this is perfect for freaking golfing.
Excuse me. Golfing, yeah, obviously for
golfing. You're outside,
literally
chilling.
right on the fucking label there.
Mr. Arnie. It's actually really funny because the Arnold Palmer Invitational's this weekend.
Is it really?
Yep.
You did this on purpose.
No, I didn't. I didn't even know.
Golfer.
I didn't even know it was gonna be this weekend. Mike turned it on this morning, and it's in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
Yep. I like it.
This is 5% alcohol. Where's the 5%? Where the fuck is the oh, it's probably on the box. How much? Like calories and stuff, which I don't really care to know, but sometimes we say it. I'm like, literally, where is it? Can't find it. It's not even on here.
Pretty tasty. It tastes like an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, it just tastes like. Honestly, Josh explained it to me yesterday. He was like, it tastes like an Arnold Palmer with vodka in it, and that's literally what it tastes like.
Yeah, that's spot on description right there.
Like, you could probably make it yourself.
Yeah, buy Arnold Palmer's and throw some vodka in it.
And that's it. It's like average, I think. It's not out of this world amazing. But
it's not like, holy shit, this is real good.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I'm never gonna drink this again. It tastes like a wet sock.
Tastes like a what?
A wet sock.
Oh, a wet sock.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So it came in a pack of 8. And
okay.
It was $6.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So, and these are kind of like tall, skinny cans.
Yeah, these are little.
Yeah.
That's the size of my hand.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like the size of a Red Bull. Maybe a little bit taller.
They are sizes of a Red Bull. Out of 10, what would you give it?
6.
A 6? I was gonna go 7.
Yeah.
I like it.
It tastes fine. It just doesn't like blow my socks off.
Same.
That's what it is.
It's like
I would drink it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna drink it.
Same. I'm gonna put it in the fridge though and drink it later.
You don't want to get hammed right now?
No.
Drunk Hogwarts would be so funny. You could stream it later.
I don't
hammered.
Stream. I don't stream. I don't stream.
Whatever.
Ayo. Dog. Mike's making rice. Hey. Sorry, we have to have special. Oh no. Do you want to try this?
What's going on?
I don't know. Morgan got a text message.
God. I'm sorry. That is very unrelated.
You don't like it? You don't like it? It just tastes like an Arnold Palmer.
I mean, I'll drink it. It tastes like twisted tea, which I don't like.
Oh,
that's a good description.
Yeah,
it does taste
very similar to that. That was Mike for you. In and out.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I was laughing because my cousin is with my grandma right now, and long story short, my grandma has hearing aids, and so
no.
we always, when she would have her like hearing aids out and she was like drinking water, we would always like make the noises just to be like as she's drinking, and like same for eating. Like if she went to go take a bite, we'd be like, but she couldn't hear us, so she sent was with him and she's like eating an ice cream cone and he's making the sounds right next to her as she's doing it, but she can hear him and she's like spitting it out. Anyway, so sorry. That was
You're
really
totally
funny.
fine. That's funny.
It does, back to what Mike said, that's exactly what this tastes like.
Yeah, if you don't like Twisted Tea, you're not gonna like those.
But yes, not a bad pick.
Thank you. Average at best.
Average at best. You know what? I feel like that's better than the shit that I've made you try. All the sock water.
I don't know. Nah, you've had good picks. The apple pie wine
That was you.
really good. No, we did it together. Didn't we go to the store together?
Oh, we got out together and then just one of us bought it.
Yeah, that was collab. Collab.
Collab.
What did you read this month?
We diving right in?
Yeah, diving in.
Okay. Excuse me. I read 1, 2, 3, 4. I read 6 books this month.
Sick.
Yeah. So I read Killjoy by Holly Jackson, which is the prequel to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and I absolutely loved it. It was a novella. I finished it in like 2 hours. It was just such a fun read because it's basically like a what did she describe it as? It's like a dinner party.
Ooh.
A murder mystery party. That's what it is. And it's all of the people that you're introduced to already, like all of her friends.
Yeah.
But it's taking place before the first book.
Oh.
So like there's some little creepy things that are in there that are like hinting at the first book, which is really cool to read again. And then there's even characters that we don't meet until like the second or third book that just get kind of like name dropped and you're just kind of like, ooh, if you've read the series, you know who that is. So I'm not going to say too much on it because I did get it on NetGalley, and I think it just published recently.
I think she just published it.
But I absolutely loved it. It just helped me dive back into that world. It was so sweet, and I just love Pip. Like, I think she's really one of my favorite YA characters, and so just getting more of her was kind of nice.
Yeah, I did like her in the first book. I'm gonna read the whole series eventually.
She's just quirky and dorky and cute. Like, she's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I gave that a 5. I don't know if I said that already.
Nice.
Here we go. Danielle and I are going to argue. I also got an ARC of The Angel Maker by Alex North, and I thought that shit sucked, and I gave it a 2. And Danielle will tell you how great it was when she tells her books. But we'll talk about that when Danielle gets to her books. Anyway, we read The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson for our other like book club that we're in. I gave that a 4, I think. There are a couple things that I didn't really like in it, and I don't like the detective Kimball, who was like the one at the end, and that's who's in the next series. He's the one that was like kind of. I hate that Mike's name is Sug Bofa on Steam. It just popped up in my corner. It said Sug Bofa is playing PGA. I hate that.
Oh my god. Wait, Swanson's the detective at the end.
The detective Kimball at the end, who was like writing the fucking weird notes about her and is like getting his rocks off on her and saying how sexy she is.
That's the next one?
Well, it says, if you look at like the series, it says Henry Kimball / Lily Kinter #1. And so the next one that just came out is Henry whatever Lily Kinter #2.
Yeah.
So he's probably the detective and she's, not to say
Yeah.
anything about it. But I just thought that I didn't like him. He creeped me out, and I don't like that he's going to be in the next book. And the ending for me, I know I read it after a lot of people did, and they said that it ended on a cliffhanger. But if you guys didn't say that, I don't think I would have put 2 and 2 together when I was reading, because I was like, oh, okay, that whatever. Went on to the next page, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Oh.
So it didn't process in my head, and I think it was because I didn't like fully grasp it, and
yeah,
whether that was me or like
you were just like
writing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make
yeah. I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and
Ooh.
I read The Housemaid's Secret, the sequel that just came out. The first one, The Housemaid, I gave 5 stars. That was such a good psychological thriller,
Oh, I can't
and
wait to fucking read that book.
it was so good, and it's probably gonna be one, and I don't wanna be this person because Bookstagram is loving it, so I'm, like, not trying to feed into the hype, but it was really, really good. Um, it's the first time in a long time that a thriller kept me, like, intrigued, and I
You're
didn't know
like,
what was
I
gonna
need to
happen
read this. Didn't
next.
you read it in like
Yeah.
a day?
The Housemaid, I think, took me a couple days, but the sequel I read in a day. They're very short chapters too,
Oh, I
like
like that.
3-4 pages, and it's like they kind of end on a cliffhanger and then they switch point of view. So you have to wait a couple chapters
Ooh,
before
okay.
you get into the next.
I'm
So I
pretty
did
excited to
like
read that.
that. Um, but I
Um,
gave the first one a 5.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I was scrolling through Goodreads and somebody gave the sequel a 2, and I was like, ooh,
I could
yikes.
see. I could see.
Yikes.
The second one, I think I just wrote my review today. I originally was going to give it a 4, but I think I decided on a 3.5 because without giving away any spoilers, because 1, I know you want to read it, and 2, it literally just came out. The writing style that Frida McFadden did for the first book was interesting, different, and she used the exact same writing style for the second book. And it was kind of annoying. Like the first book was cool, the second book I was like, "Okay, you already did this."
Interesting. Okay.
There were a couple things. Let me just look at my review really quick. It kept me intrigued, fast-paced, short chapters, same thing. And I read that one in 24 hours. Like I started it and then the next day I was like, I gotta finish it. And then I finished it. Um mm, I also buddy read this with Maddie's Reads on Book Instagram posted that she was reading it and was like, "Does anybody want to buddy read it?" And then a whole bunch of people commented and was like, "Yeah, I'd love to buddy read it." And so we created like a group. She created a
Ooh.
group on Book Instagram of a whole bunch of people that read it and are going to read it. And we're actually going to discuss it, I think, next week.
Ooh, that's so
But
fun. I love when that happens.
yes, so we did that for this. Um, I really think I was focused on, like, the writing style, I'll be honest, and that's what I think people are, like, hanging on to because it was very similar to the first book, and there was also a, like, sort of a cliffhanger at the end of the first book. Not so much a cliffhanger, but, like, she had a place to go from the first book into the
Yeah.
second book,
Mhm.
and she skipped over all of that and just went into something different on the second book.
Random. Okay.
And I can't say it without spoiling, and I'm
Spoiling
not
what
going
happens.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll understand once you read, like, the first one and then get into the second one. It just touches on it a little bit, and I feel like she could have had an entire book based on, like, what she kinda
What
told us at the end.
forward? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she just kinda touched on it, and that was it, and I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Dang. Maybe she'll read
Yeah.
more.
But I definitely think they were still good thrillers. I haven't read a good thriller in a while, honestly.
Yeah, that's so funny because like you see that like people love it on Instagram and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," cuz like sometimes you'll read like mystery
Yes.
thrillers from like people who are like, "This is really good." And then it's like really not.
Mhm.
But people have
Yes.
been really really loving it and you love it, so it has to be okay.
There was a girl who I used to work with too, and she's getting back into reading. And you know how, like, when people get back into reading, they kind of all read the same books to get back into reading,
Yeah.
like Verity,
Mhm.
Silent Patient, like
Yep.
all the books that you kind of get into. So I
Yeah.
see them reading it, and she was like, "Oh, I read this book. Like, you should check it out." And I was like, "You know what? I've always wanted to," and it's on Kindle Unlimited. First and the second book are on Kindle Unlimited. Um, and I was like, "Okay, I'll read it and talk about it with you." And then I was like, "Well, I gotta get the second one, like, not waiting for your ass to read the second one." And, she also really liked it too. I think she ended up giving it a 4 or a 5, but very high ratings. It was a good read. I can't, like, say anything super, like, negative about it. It just didn't blow me away the second time because it was a little repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Interesting.
the last book that I read, was my emotional damage book. I read Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins,
Oh,
and that book
yeah.
ripped out my heart. That is exactly what I wanted it to do, and that's one that I've talked about wanting to read for a while. Um, I've seen it all over book Instagram that everybody's like, if you want a book that hurts you, here it is. And I was like, give me all of the books that
Sign
hurt
me
me.
the frig up.
Sign me up. And it really did. And it's about um a girl, her name is Lauren, and her husband's name is Josh, and they are newly married. They're married for like 3 or 4 years, and then she finds out that she has like a terminal illness. And so she passes. That's not like a surprise because that's in the plot or in the
Just
summary.
like the summary, yeah.
Yeah, she passes, and what she ended up doing that Josh didn't know was as she was dying, she was writing letters to him for him to read after she died. And I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. The letters were like every single month he gets one. So for the first year that she was gone. So he
Yeah.
got 12 letters from her, and it was all trying to kind of help him
Get
move
through grief.
on.
Yeah.
Yes. And so like for example, the first one was like go to the grocery store, get out of the house. I've been gone for a month. You need to stop
Get
grieving
the
and go to the
fuck
grocery.
up.
Yeah. And it like went even to like helping him find somebody else, which hurt my fucking heart so much
Oh.
because I'm literally picturing she's writing all these while she's still alive. And can you imagine like she's looking at him and she's like, I want you to find somebody else. Like that
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I honestly think I know you don't love books that make you cry, but there were like like there are a lot of lovable characters in this book, and I think it's kind of like the happy, heartfelt, like sappy shit that you actually would like. Because there's like a character that he meets while doing one of the things that his wife tells him to do in the letter, and he has a fucking mental breakdown. And this guy is just like, I'm at work, like, I don't know what to do. And somehow they end up being best friends. Like, that is a character that
Oh.
comes, like, you would love that piece of the story. I don't know how your heart would deal with
The
all of the sad that was in
entirety.
this. And I think also it hurt a lot too because the husband's name was Josh. So as she's reading like
yeah.
all these things,
You're like,
and she like he's going and hanging out with her family, and they're like, "Oh, Joshy, come here," and that's what Josh's family calls him. And I was like, "Oh my god, if I die, I'm not writing fucking letters to have him move on. Fuck that. Be miserable forever." Kidding. It just
she's
was.
like, not.
It
Yeah,
just
that's
was
a
a
lot.
really like good story. It hurt. I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah,
I
was
don't know
gonna
if I
say
said
that's
that
a 5 for
already.
Morgan.
It really is a 5 for me. But I loved it so much. Oh my god, Mariah's messaging me right now.
That hoe.
Jesus.
Every time.
God. Every time. I even told her that I was recording at 4. Get out of
She did it
here.
on purpose. Man.
It was very good.
I do love myself a good romance though.
I don't know if I would it actually is considered a romance. I don't know if I would
It's in the
consider it a
romance section.
Yeah. I mean, I did buy it. Or you gifted it to me? How did I get it?
Nah, you bought it. You went to Barnes & Noble and bought it.
You're right. I bought it.
I remember that day.
So if you would like to try it, you can certainly try it. However, that was a book I was crying in the first 20 pages.
Yeah, you said you snapped. I think you literally said that in Goodreads, and I was like, "Yep,
Yup. That's me. Just sob fest. I think I needed a good cry though, and that was the book that I needed, and I finished it last weekend, and that was when I don't know if I told you we did like a hotel weekend.
Yeah.
So I was at the hotel and I was just sitting in bed sobbing. And then I got up and I like walked out. You know the like meme of like, Mom, I threw up. I no. Where you like walk in, hold on. You walk into your parents' bedroom at 2:00 in the morning and say, Mom, I flew up, but you're standing like this. You've never seen that?
I'm gonna look that up after. That's
Look it
funny.
But I walked out into the like because we got like a suite, so Josh was in the other room, and I walked out and he was like, "Hi," and I was like, "I finished my book," and I had like tears coming down my face. Ugh. But I absolutely loved it. I would highly recommend it if you want a good cry and a good story. Like he had a good arc because he was kind of like a shithead after she died, and he was like pissed off at the world because she was only like 26 when she died. Like she was young.
Yeah.
And he was like pissed off at the world and how come this, how come that, you know?
Mean, how can you not?
Exactly. So I feel like it was a very realistic
Yeah,
grief
yeah.
story too.
That's what I love about certain romances. Like, there's some romances
Yeah.
that I've read that are very realistic, and there's some that are not. But
Like
I
the one you
like
just read?
realistic ones. Did you see my update? Did you see when I rated
No,
it?
no, 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 don't tell me, I'll go look right now. Shut up. Don't.
Though, are you talking about the fine print?
Huh?
Which one are you talking about?
The one that we talked about.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about, I literally finished the fine print today.
What's the fine print?
Oh, it's a romance.
Oh, hold on. Is that what it's called? The fine print?
Yeah.
By Lauren Asher?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hold on. You gave it a 2. Bet. They talked about that in the book?
Oh, yeah.
It does say adult in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. I read that and I was like, this is, what am I reading?
For people at home. It says, she rated it a 4, but, or no, you 3.5
it's like,
technically?
No, I'm giving it a 4.5, but I took a 0.5 off.
Okay, it says 0.5 takeaway for glue guzzling. You know what I mean.
I thought it was so funny writing that this morning.
No, I didn't see that. Oh my god. I don't go on Goodreads and like scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Should.
I love it's my favorite thing to do is to leave funny comments after I finish a book. But yeah, I finished that this morning. It was interesting.
I'm
anyway,
commenting on it.
Did you? What was your? I hate you. What was your favorite?
You need to go look at.
This is why.
My favorite?
Yeah. What was your favorite? I can't. Anyway,
my favorite was Pack Up the Moon, easily.
Interesting. Wait. You read 3 5s or 2 5s? 3 5s.
No, I read 3 5s. The Housemaid, no, I gave that a 5, but that's not going to be my favorite for the month. Killjoy is really high up there, but I think I'm going based on the fact that I felt more from Pack Up the Moon. Killjoy was just like a happy read, but it was also a novella that was like 100 pages.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew it was a novella going into it.
Oh, you thought it was like a full ass book.
Yeah, I was reading and then it was on like not page 80, but like maybe like 120 or something. I can't remember. But then I swiped and then it was like sneak peek at A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Or like whatever the first, that's the first book.
Interesting. I wonder how the series would be if you read that first and then read Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Second one, third one.
I almost like that I read it after, yes, because it talks about
all of
the people that you see and meet. Like at this point, the 2 people that were in the first book that were murdered are technically alive, or I'm pretty sure they were getting together like around the night that they died.
Oh.
And then it ends I think yes, because they like went missing by the end of the book, and then it ends with her like foreshadowing knocking on Ravi's door. Like she did in the first book, being like, "Hi, my name is Pippa Fitzamobi," and so it like foreshadows that. So at the time that this book is happening, either they just had been murdered and like they haven't been discovered murdered yet, or they're alive and they're about to be murdered.
Dang, that's kind of really freaking cool.
And there's a lot of hints towards it too. Like, I mean, you read the first book, right?
Yeah, I read the first one.
Who was the killer in the first book? Remind me.
The sister.
Spoiler alert. Huh?
The sister. Her sister.
No.
His sister.
No.
It's a sister. I swear to God, it was a sister.
It was a dad.
Yeah, it was the dad. I'm getting something confused.
That's okay. No, because
I knew it was a family member.
Andy Bell's sister had something like going on, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're getting confused with.
Yeah.
But it was somebody's dad, and at the like end of the book, she's like interacting with that dad, and she's like, something seems off about him. Oh. And it's just kind of like, you know that something happened.
Interesting.
And I'm sorry, I just kind of told you part of the ending, but
whatever. I'll forget.
But you will forget, except for the fact that you won't forget that there's a fucking podcast. Anyway.
Dang, you had a good reading month. Like based off like rating wise.
Rating wise, yeah, the only like dud that I read was The Angel Maker, and that one was really a disappointment. So I was so looking forward to that, but we can talk about that one more
Oh
when
man.
you get into it.
Okay. Well, that was one that I read this month and I liked it a lot. I thought it was so like I know it was a lot. Like a lot. And I told people I'm like, "Oh, go ahead. Morgan?"
I just you thank you. So you listened to it.
I did the ebook, I did the physical and then the ebook with like the audio with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Did you
think
do the
that
audio the entire time?
yes.
Okay. Did they have different narrators?
Can't remember. I don't think
Some of the
so. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So I just think it was too confusing, and there were way too many characters, way too many different points of view for me.
Yeah, it was a lot, but like I was with it. I was into it.
Ugh.
It was super, and I think I liked because it was weird. Like the premise is weird and it's like brain fucky. Like
I
how
liked Go ahead, sorry.
no, you're okay. I was gonna say it's like I like that it's brain fucky and like how he was like it's like time and how nothing
De
it's weird.
determinism.
Yeah, it's really weird and I liked it.
That's what I was gonna say was something that I actually really enjoyed about it was this concept that they were revisiting, but I feel like there were so many connections that the author and this is for me because I know you loved it, and maybe I missed something. Like, maybe I genuinely, like, since I read it and didn't listen to it, maybe I skipped over something. But there were so many connections that I feel like the author was like, the reader's gonna be like, "Ooh, light bulb," and the light bulb didn't come on for me. I was just like, I don't understand who these people are. What is happening? There were some like fake people in there, like their names were different and they were connected, and it just,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? I'm
Yes.
trying not to
Yeah.
say too much because
No,
it just came out.
yeah, it's all connected. And that's
Yes.
why I was like, this is really cool. And I love books that end up all being connected.
Yes,
Like,
me too. I was hoping
I was
that
like,
I was gonna.
I think listening definitely made it easier for me to kind of like put it all together too. Because, like, I don't, sometimes when I hear it, instead of just reading it in my brain, it processes
Mhm.
better. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna get the audio. I'm gonna try to get the audio for this. So they approved me for it, and then I friggin' whatever. But
We'll have
it's
to talk off the podcast about it so we can like talk about it because
I
I
should
really feel like I
send
missed
I should send you my
this.
notes because they're kind of funny.
I honestly don't know if I would remember the stuff that I read. Let me look at my notes really quick.
But yeah, no, it was very interesting, and there was like fake people, but they were like not fake, and then like it was like you're right about all the characters, so it was a lot, and I was like, what? And then yeah, but
And their
it
backstories. They had, like, very
oh
in-depth every single one of them had an in-depth backstory that I
yeah
couldn't keep straight. Like, I
yeah
genuinely probably if I knew now, going back into it, I probably would have, like, taken notes
that's what yeah, and I think
as I was reading.
that might have been why I was okay with it because I literally was like typing like notes when something crazy happened
Oh,
or like I something in my brain was like, wait, is this what happened? So yeah.
I feel
I
like that's not the type of book that I enjoy if I have to take notes to keep it straight. Like, that's also why remember, Death on the Nile? There were so many fucking
oh, there's
characters.
a
I had to
yeah.
keep notes for that, and I just feel like I shouldn't.
It shouldn't be a
That's
project.
something it shouldn't be a project, I just kinda wanna immerse myself,
Yeah.
and I really think the focus for me was way too many characters, way too many backstories, and I knew that the author was trying to be like, "Hey, they're all, like, combined in this way," and I was like, "Huh? Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it."
Yeah. And I
It
think
just
that
didn't hit for me.
yeah, and I get that because I think I would feel the same way as you if I didn't have it being read to me. And I wasn't and
Yeah.
if I did not take notes, I'd be like,
Ugh,
"What the fuck is this?" So yeah. But I thought the
yeah.
determinism was really freaking sweet. I thought it
It
was really
was.
cool. The ending where you get the POV from the person. I don't know if it's the POV from the person or like the letter
We're
from the
gonna
person. There's
yeah,
like
we're
a
gonna have to
letter.
talk off off
Yeah, there's a
stream about
letter
or
from the
off stream.
person and it kind of like goes through what actually happens. It's really I thought it was really cool. I definitely liked it better than the Shadows, right? It's the Whisper Man, the Shadows, and
And
the
this
Angel
one.
Maker. Yeah, I liked it better than the Shadows.
Mhm.
but it's very complicated. Every time somebody was like, I'm gonna read this next, I'm like, be patient with it, because I thought it was really good, but be patient with it because it's a lot.
Yeah, I think for me, this one obviously was like my least favorite,
Yeah.
and the Whisper Man. It went the Whisper Man, the Shadows, and then this one,
Mhm.
just because of that. Like, there's not really much else that I didn't like about it. I was waiting for the like big connect,
Yeah.
and if that had happened and like I understood all of it, then I probably would have rated it higher. But also the very last page, I'm looking at my review right now, and two things. So the very last page, I was expecting more. Like, I thought it was gonna go farther than where it did, and then it just went to the acknowledgments page, and I was like, "Oh, okay. That's fine, I guess." And then I'm looking at one of my notes here, and it says, "Don't get me started with the plot holes. There were at least 2 side stories that we just didn't get any more information on, like, why were those characters explored so much if you were just gonna leave me hanging?" And to this day, I don't know what characters I'm talking about. Like, I remember feeling that way, but I couldn't tell you what characters it was because there were so fucking many of
There
them!
were so many, but they were actually, like, I don't even wanna say anymore because it just came up, but, like, yeah. It's very interesting. It's got an interesting concept. It's weird. It's very in-depth. I liked it. Morgan didn't. So, either way,
I
I
would say
think
still give it a try. Like, I'm
yeah.
glad, and I was excited when I got approved for it. Like, it's Alex North. I enjoy his books, so
Same.
I would not say don't read it, but maybe go into it with the audio if you can,
Yeah.
and just try and keep notes and like keep a way of like how everybody's connected. Because
Yeah.
that probably would have helped me.
Yeah, keep track of the characters for sure. But yeah, no,
But
I'm like the same way. Like whenever he
yeah,
drops a book, like when I saw that he was dropping a new book, I was like, fudge, yeah, let's go.
yes.
His just like his writing's so creepy and it's so good. Except for this one's a little complex. It made me feel
I'm
like
trying to.
it reminded me of The Martian by Andy Weir, but like
Mhm.
how complex it is. So yeah.
I feel like too, because the very first chapter, or like one of the very first chapters, it ends with like somebody trying to rip off somebody else's face, and I was like,
Yeah.
"God damn."
I was like, wow,
I
we're
was like,
starting off hot.
"Oh my god. Alright, this is gonna be a great book."
Yeah,
And
it
then it
starts out
just didn't
hot.
hit for me. But again, I probably missed something, and I also don't when I'm reading a book, I like to think and I like deeper meanings, but when it comes to like extra like too many characters, that's when I am
You're
not
like
interested.
blah, 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 brain melting out of my ears.
Literally. What
So I
else
read a
did you read?
fuckload, and I'm really sorry. And I'm
No,
not
you're
gonna talk
not.
about all of them because all of them are not worth it.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
so I read The Kind Worth Killing. I think I read that real fucking fast at the beginning of the month.
I feel like it was a quick read
Yeah,
in general.
I liked it, and I think I experienced what you experienced with hype books.
What do you mean? What
Like
did you
it
rate
was
it?
good. I think I'm giving it a 3.5.
Oh, I thought you gave it a 5 for some reason.
No, I gave it a 3. I gave it a 4, but I'm doing like 3.5.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I liked it, but I thought it was gonna be more. I don't know. There's something that was like Morgan.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
my way of not cutting you off, see?
I need to start doing that.
Um, really quick, so obviously Mariah really, really loved this book,
Mhm.
and I ended up giving it a 4. At the same time, she read Razorblade Tears and gave that shit like a 3 or a 4. And I was like, is this my payback because I didn't like your freaking book? I'm sorry.
It wasn't not good. It was just like I think it was too hyped up for me. Like,
Yeah, I get that.
so, but it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I liked that it ended in a cliffhanger, and I thought it was really interesting. And I feel like a lot of people have already read this. All right, spoiler. It's been out for a while. You should have been reading it already. So when they killed the man, the main man character that you get introduced to in the beginning, I was like, whoa. I was in. I was
Me
like,
too.
this is freaking
Me
sick.
too.
And then we get to part 2, where it's the
Oh, boy.
wives. And I'm like,
Mhm.
these bitches are bitches. I've had enough of these hoes.
Oh my god.
They were so catty. They were both super catty. And I was like, okay. Then we get to the third part, and I liked it. Right? What was the third part again? The third part was
I don't even remember the two wives being bitches. So
yeah, it was just interesting. And I was like, when a character stroked out. I get excited and my brain moves too fast. That's what happens. So when the author kills a character and like a pretty big character in the middle of the book, I'm like, damn, what are we doing? Yeah. So I was in. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. And I can't even explain why. Go ahead.
okay. I felt the same way. So I was reading it and I was texting Mariah, and I don't think I actually pissed her off, but she was probably like, "Oh my God, you're not liking the book that I really loved."
I think
because
everybody gets that way.
Of course. And that's why I'm like, she wasn't actually like pissed off. She was probably like, "Oh wow, really?" But I was reading it and I was like, this isn't really like doing it for me. Like, I'm not interested because they're already like plotting her death. Like, obviously that's what's gonna happen. And she was like, "Okay, sure." And then I got to that part and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Told ya."
Yeah. Oh yeah, she kills the cop at the oh no, she almost kills the cop at the end.
She stabs him.
Yeah, that's what happened. Let me tell you though, I did like it. And this is why it's a 3.5. I did like that we get meet Lily in the beginning and I'm like, damn, this bitch is crazy. Like, this bitch is crazy. And then at the end, I feel for her. I liked her. I started liking her. I'm like, dang, this is like, you made me switch my brain. And I was like, this girl convinced me to like her, and she's a psychopath, manipulative.
Because she killed a cat.
Yeah, man. I was like, dang,
I
this
didn't
is
like
good.
that.
See, that's what is Peter Swanson's a really good author when you can like create this character who's like, really, that's somebody in society you're not supposed to like, and then at the end of this book you like her rooting for her.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's what I was like. I wrote that in my like notes. I was like, dang, I'm rooting for this psycho crazy lady.
Oh my God.
I'm really, and like when they were like they're tearing down the land in the back with the well and the bodies. I was like, oh man.
I just guess I didn't put two and two together when it was like, oh, they're doing like this farm or whatever. And I was like, what farm? I like put two and two together because everybody was like, oh my God, cliffhanger. But if I read that just by myself, I would have been like thinking about it for a minute, just being like, what does that have to do with anything? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very, very curious about the next one, what the heck's gonna happen, because holy Jesus. I was like, oh man, they're gonna find the bodies, and she's like gotten out of like these situations, and I'm like, how's she doing this? That's crazy. It was good, but like it wasn't like mind blowing, which I thought it was gonna be.
It comes out on the 7th.
I went to Books a Million in Florida, and it was there, and I should have bought it. No, because it was $30. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get this.
Do you have Kindle Unlimited? You should get it.
No, I don't. I should,
but
I don't like
login
reading on my Kindle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I know.
That's the only reason why. I need to get a paperweight.
Yes, you do. However, if you don't want to spend $30 on it, I'll give you my login for Kindle Unlimited.
I might take you up on that, actually.
Yeah. Just save some money. I mean, it is on there. I saw. And you know what else is on there? The book series that we were talking about, The Things We Never Get Over. That's on there too.
Oh.
The Lucy.
The second one's on there?
The first and the second, yeah.
Oh, curious. I have the first one. That's interesting.
Okay. Well then, yeah. Because that's how I like got. I wouldn't go out of my way to like buy that book.
Yeah. Oh, but I did.
I think it's
wait. No,
well, I think it's like romance.
Liz, yeah, it is romance. Liz bought it for me and sent it to me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shout out Liz.
Yeah, Liz is the queen. All right. Yeah. So anyway, I read a fucking lot.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, I read episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, and it was like a paranormal ghost hunting book, but it's really fucking not, and it made me sad.
Would you rate it? Damn.
I gave it a 2. I hated it. I was so mad at it, but because I wanted it to be phasmophobia in a book. And it's so funny because like it kind of is, and then it just goes into chaos mode. And
What's
I'm like,
the title of it? Episode what?
Episode 13. So like things happen, and I think it's supposed to be a satire and deeper meaning behind it.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? But anyway, in the author's note, it says that he played Phasmophobia with his son to get inspiration for the book.
Oh my god. Okay, that's kind of cute though.
I know. I was like, oh wait. So yeah, I don't know if you read this book and liked it and like understood what it was. Can you please tell me? Because I'm like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, I got the audio off.
Scribd.
No, off. I used one of my credits.
Audible.
Yeah, because I was like, I gotta listen to this.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then I read Curated by Nellie Wilson, which is a romance about two people who work at they're two curators at a museum, and it was really cute. I gave it a 4. I read Blackout by a bunch of authors, and one of the authors is the person who wrote Hate You Give.
Angie Thomas.
Yep.
Blackout.
Yeah, it's called Blackout. One word. So it's by Danielle.
Danielle.
Is that Danielle?
I think it's Danielle.
Clayton. I apologize for pronouncing that wrong. Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. So basically this book is really interesting. It's a YA, but I really loved it. I liked YAs though, but it's a YA romance. And basically all these authors write this one book together, and it's like a bunch of different short stories that create one big story. Oh. And it's like when you write a book, like write a chapter or like a paragraph, and then somebody comes out and writes the next paragraph, and it continues the story. But it's like cohesive and it's like really good. I liked it a lot. Basically what happens is there's a blackout in New York City, and these romances happen because of the blackout, but there's also like deeper meaning to it about how like these blackout like helps you, like being in this blackout help these people like truly express themselves and like really be able to show their true colors and like really understand their situations. One of my favorite ones was by Nick Stone, and she wrote Dear Justice, which I'm really curious about, and Dear Martin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yes.
She wrote about these two boys, and they end up like, it's like enemies to lovers, and they end up like one of the boys has like a problem with like closed up spaces, and they get stuck on the subway. And it's really cute, and it's like the way it came together was really, really cool, and I liked it. I gave that a 4. I liked it a lot. Really interesting like way they put it together, and they wrote it during COVID. So it's really more interesting to see that they wrote it in during COVID, and like how like blackouts kind of get isolated in a blackout. I think that you would enjoy it, but like it's not something that you should add to your like top of your list. But I think that that's a book that you would enjoy, even though it's romance.
Interesting. I enjoy Angie Thomas's writing. So
yeah, it's really cool because like it's different writing styles, but it blends well together. I liked it a lot. On the theme of young adult, I read Nick and Charlie by Alice Osman, and it was a short story about Nick and Charlie that she just released. I did an audio. It was cute. The graphic novels are better. Then I read The Angel Maker by Alex North. We talked about that in depth. I read my Grumpy Valentine by C.P. River, who is a indie author.
Stop moving your face away from the microphone.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Who's an indie author.
Did you try those already?
I did. Did you want to try it?
Ooh, hello, Josh.
That's good.
Finish it? All right, because I kind of have a headache from it, so that's why.
That's a solid 8 out of 10.
Hey!
So sorry. I just texted him and needed water because I have not drank a lot of water today.
I haven't either. Anyway.
Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. C.P. River is a indie author located in upstate New York. So, yeah, she's a romance novel. It's a Grumpy Sunshine romance but the boy is the sunshine and the girl is the grumpy. You don't get that a lot in romances, so it was really cute. Gave it a 5. Then I read Here for the Drama by Kate Bromley, another freaking romance.
Stop moving your face
I
away
have
from the
to look.
microphone.
I have to look at what the author was. Sorry.
You literally are like answering the book all the way over here.
Okay, so
you just
Here for the Drama by Kate Bromley. Thank you for yelling at me.
Of course, all the time.
So yeah,
Stop it.
I gave that a 4. And shout out to Booksparks for giving me that book and reading it. I liked it. And then my last book, I read Frigload, In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune.
Mm-hmm.
So good. That comes out in April. I'm not going to say anything.
But what did you rate it?
5, obviously.
I mean, yeah, that was a given, but just for people who maybe just listening in and not realizing your love for TJ Klune.
Yeah, I gave it a 5. It was so good. It's just like his books are like warm hugs. They're so good. But yeah.
Well, now I'm gonna read a TJ Klune book because we're reading it for the book club.
You're gonna hate it, and I'm ready for it.
Okay, but so the Gamers That Read book club that we shout out all the time is like we suggest books. So like Danielle can suggest a book, I can suggest a book, Mariah, like anybody can put it in there, and then Mariah, who is like in charge of everything, will break it up and be like, okay, here's the synopsis, here's the cover. Everybody gets 2 votes. Vote on the 2 books that you want to read, and then everybody votes. And there's a decent amount of us at this point. Everybody votes on what we want to read, and then we read whatever wins. And obviously, no, like you don't have to read it if you like don't want to read the book that we end up picking. And so last year I suggested Addie LaRue because I was scared to read that and I needed an excuse to read it. And guess what? They fucking picked it. And guess what? This month I suggested House on the Cerulean Sea because I was like, I'm scared to read that book, so I'll just suggest it. We won't read it. It fucking won by a landslide. Like a lot of people.
A lot of people
and I was
voted
like,
for that.
Okay, I guess I'm reading it now. Which Danielle's been trying to get me to read that shit for a while.
I love that book so much. It's so delightful.
We'll talk about it next month.
Morgan's gonna hate it. I can't wait for Morgan to rip it apart.
Oh my god. Maybe I'll love it. You never know. Maybe I'll have a change of heart.
We'll see. I'm like, you could go either way, but I'm not going
to tell you anything while I'm reading it then.
In my brain cells, I'm like, Morgan's going to hate it, so I don't like get sad.
I won't tell you anything while I'm reading it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing at all. But get back to your books really quick. So what was your favorite that you read this month?
So I'm not going to count In the Lives of Puppets just because like that's an automatic favorite because it's TJ Klune. But outside of that
could be your favorite then.
Fine. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but don't not count it because it's obviously your favorite. That's the answer.
Yeah, that was my favorite one I read this month.
All right. There you go.
It's so good. It's like, this is no spoilers. It's like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, Brave Little Toaster. Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff put on together. Have you ever heard of Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah, no, I've watched Brave Little Toaster, but I'm just in my head thinking of like how all of those could possibly go together.
Oh, it's so delightful. And like the humor in this book, I feel like we're getting more of him and his personality in these books because he's getting more comfortable with like writing to his specific audience.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting more of him in this book, and I loved it because like he gets a little bit more like derogatory humor, like kind of like 12-year-old poop jokes.
Oh my god, and that's right up your fucking alley.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh
my gosh, it's
I
so
would hate
good.
it.
It's so good. Oh, yeah. There's a character. His name is Rambo, and he is this isn't spoilers either. You meet him in the first chapter. He's a Roomba, and he talks.
Fuck up. Oh my god.
Listen, his characters are like so creative and so imaginative. Like, remember when I said my favorite male character last year was Burrito Jerry?
Yep.
That's a TJ Klune book. Oi. Yep, that's what I read. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books.
I heard you counting, but what did you get for your?
I read 9.
9?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this month will be like literally last month. I also was in a reading slump, I think, for a hot minute. And then the Housemaid took me out of it, and then I kind of went back into it. I've been like weird about what books I want to pick up and what books I'm in the mood for, because I'm like, these books have been on my shelf for so long. Like, there's obviously a reason that I don't want to read them right now. And then I'll get new
Yeah.
books, and I'm like, oh, I read Pack Up the Moon. Hold on. I read Just the Nicest Couple,
Oh
Pack Up
yeah.
the Moon. And I feel like there was another book that I just recently bought that I was like, I'm powering through the books that I just got, but like, look at all that shit over
I
there.
know. Oh,
And I'm now on the bottom shelf. I haven't been for a while.
heck yeah.
I'm now on the bottom shelf, and we need to get a new shelf. But this year, I created a giveaway pile of books that I just didn't, they weren't 5 stars for me, and I'm not going to hang on to them because there's no point.
Yeah, why
I'm
do you need
gonna
to hang on to those? Yeah. I need
I'm
to do
gonna
that
either
too.
give them to my friends if they want to read them, put them in little free libraries, sell them, whatever.
Yeah. I need to do that too because like I'm clearly going to buy more books. Why am I keeping things that are like just okay on
Yeah.
my shelf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
toxic trait.
honestly, you want to hang on to them. That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
It's hoarding at its finest.
Literally.
All right, Morgan. So we didn't read a book this month.
We did not.
That is the deal that has been the thing that we decided
Yes.
to do for season 2. We're going to read a book every other month. So this is our off month. And we're
So
going
the episode's over. See ya later. Bye.
So we came up with a list a long time ago of just random things we can talk about because we want to be like Shelf Obsessed Podcast.
We do. Shout out.
We want to be just like them and talk about whatever and have fun talking about stuff. So what's today's topic?
I was
you
literally
tell me.
just gonna ask you that. Are you putting it on me because you don't remember?
No, I know. I remember.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, oh, no, you tell me. And you're like, no, you tell me. So I thought you really forgot.
No, you just tell me.
So we are talking today about our bookish pet peeves and things that just irk us about certain things in reading, in books, in the book community, fucking everything.
Listen,
and we're gonna shit talk.
This is so funny because I came onto the call and Morgan and I had complete different definitions of bookish pet peeves.
So I think we can kind of cover all of them. So Danielle, actually, you described what you thought the pet peeve was because I don't want to get it wrong.
Okay, so like just general book things. So like I'll just say my first one, just so like whatever. So like one of my pet peeves that I have for like book things is when you go to a store and you buy a book and there's either a sticker on it that won't freaking come off at all, whether you use like a freaking drill to get it off or like pliers. Or
oh my god,
or they're a sticker that's in the design of the book cover that just doesn't come off. It's in the printed design. That's one of my pet peeves that I hate that publishers do that. I hate it. Like, stop doing that. Why do you do that? Stop.
So my interpretation was we were going to talk about things while reading, like plot things that irk us. So my first one was going to be too many characters. I just thought of that earlier.
But it's so true though, because like you have to, like you said before, like you have to take notes because there's so many characters and like sometimes they don't even like reintroduce the character until later in the book and you're like,
just
who the
fuck is this?
Yeah.
But I think too, so we can also talk about things in like the book community that bother us, things that happen while reading, like bookish, like a whole bunch of stuff. So I feel like if we go back and forth, kind of like what we just did, we could like kind of
cover
speak
a bunch
of that.
of them.
So like if you now is your turn, you say your next bookish thing. And to be blatantly open and honest, Danielle and I are not prepared whatsoever. So there might be some lulls and silence.
Yeah.
But like we might just bounce off each other and that's fine because we just Danielle took a nap today and I just didn't prepare. So it is what it is. You should be used to this by now.
Yeah, we're not. We're prepared. Not prepared podcast. Whatever. So, that's what we like best about us. All right, my next one, and this is like the first one that immediately came into my head when you were like bookish pet peeves. and this is just me being like crazy, and maybe it's because I'm jealous because I'm not as like creative, but I am. I don't know. I hate when I see people drawing and writing all over their books.
No, that's a big one. But there are people that enjoy like annotating their books.
Right, which is great. Like and I'm not crapping on anybody either, but like
She is.
when I see that, I about lose my mind. I'm like, I just spent
All this
$25
money.
on a hardcover.
Yeah.
I'm not writing in it because I make mistakes. So like I'm not ready to just draw and chisel all over it.
Well, yeah. But I get that, and I can agree with that.
Yeah, but like if you're good at it and you find joy in it, like rock on for you. You guys rock, like do you and keep doing what you're doing. But like that really, I see that. I'm like, I get a little like, I'm like, oh my God, why'd you do that?
I think too, think about like how often you and I just share books, let alone the other people that you share books with.
Yeah.
Imagine if I did that and I was like, here, Danielle, here, and I'm like writing notes to be like, oh, this is the person from earlier. Like, you're like gonna see all of that and be like, okay, I wanted to figure it out myself.
Yeah. I just like that. I'm like, what the heck? I think that like the only time that I would try to do that is if I got a book from a little free library and I didn't spend money on it.
I still wouldn't, because what if you give it away and you hate it?
Right. Yeah. See, that's like there's so many downfalls to that. But like, so what do you do if you don't want that book anymore? You just throw it away? Like
right, like nobody's gonna want. I mean, maybe there's other people in the like annotating community that would like it and would be fine with it. But like, wouldn't you want to annotate it yourself then?
Yeah. You're so right. Yeah, that's one of my big things. But like at the same time, like I think it's like an internal jealousy that I couldn't do something like that. So I can
would
do
you
it.
want to? Like, yeah,
No.
you could do it. Yeah.
No, I don't think I would want to.
As someone who reads your books, it would piss me off too. So I'm glad you don't do it. I'm just thinking of like borrowing books or even giving them away. Like if I read a book and I'm like, you know what, Danielle, I don't like this. You'd probably like it. Give it to you.
Yeah.
I just read it and it's annotated in, but like you don't like that. So now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just can't do it. Like, I don't know. That's one of my pet peeves. I see it all the time and I'm like, oh boy.
I wonder if people read it first and then go back and annotate it.
That's so.
Because then, yeah.
That's so much effort. You take all these notes and you have to go through all of it again. I mean, that's cool. Like if that's a project you like doing and that's how you feel creative and feel free and like get a little like creative excitement and like it makes you feel comfy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think that
not my thing.
Yeah, it's not for me. I see that stuff and I get a little bit scared when I see it. I'm like, "Oh my God, you're ruining this beautiful book."
Honestly.
So yeah, that was my that's my number one technically because it was like the first one I thought of.
Yes. Okay, so I guess my number one is plot holes. And when I say plot holes, I mean things that are just not true, not realistic, and inconsistent. So I'm thinking of Flicker in the Dark. When there was so many plot holes and just thinking of the inconsistency of an author doing their basic research.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Like if you're writing historical fiction, you need to go research. You need to be accurate. And even outside of that, like fiction, you should be as accurate as possible. Like it just shows that you're kind of being lazy, right?
Well, and I'm just thinking Flicker in the Dark specifically, because this just was so dumb that it pissed me off. But like she was saying how the character was getting their PhD and then after their PhD, they were going to go and do their master's. And I was like, that doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You can't jump from your PhD to your master's. And then I did my research and I looked up to see if Stacey Willingham was like from a different country and maybe it worked differently in another country, and she is not. So
yeah,
that just specific thing irked me. And in one of the Jennifer Hillier books. Yeah. Yep.
When did you get it as an arc or you got it from Book of the Month?
Book of the Month.
Yep. Okay.
A couple months after it came out too.
Yep. Okay.
Jennifer Hillier her book, the taco thing. Remember that?
Yep.
The taco thing. It makes me as a reader feel gaslit of like, okay, wait, am I wrong or is the author wrong? Because you think as a reader in your head, at least for me, I do. Maybe I'm just being too hard on authors, but you would think that somebody would catch that and be like, hey, no, that's wrong. Like, make sure that that's right. Because I can't remember specifics of what it was, but it was talking about this specific character's favorite taco order from like
And
a taco truck. And it was completely different both times. Like it was like a taco with extra chicken and avocado and a little bit of cheese. And then the next one was chicken, no avocado, a lot of cheese, and salsa. And it was like it was in a matter of like 50 pages. And I did my research and I went back the 50 pages to find because I was like, wait, am I wrong? Like, did I read this wrong? And because you never want to blame it on the author.
yeah, like that's also
Especially if
something
you're
like why you're hiring
yeah.
publishers and like stuff like that.
Editors.
Yeah, and editors to look through
Everything.
that stuff and like notice that stuff. So yeah,
That's a big one. I feel like that's when I end up shitting on books the most
when you
there's
don't like them. Yeah.
when there's inconsistencies and you can't even have like a basic, like those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, and that's the thing is like that's what I appreciate about you is that you notice those things. I'll read books. I'll be like, I
Oh
don't
my
notice.
God.
I don't
Who
notice
read-
those things.
Who read something recently? Maybe it was Mariah, and I was talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." What the fuck was she reading?
Yeah, I don't ever like. I guess I just
I don't
get
remember.
immersed in the story so much that I just don't notice those things. But that's what I like appreciate about you is that you notice these things and you have an eye for those things, and I don't. And I'm just like, I think that's like a cool trait to have, but also kind of bites you in the ass sometimes because you can't really truly enjoy the story.
It doesn't really affect me too much. Like if there's, because sometimes if it's a little inconsistent, and I don't know, I guess it depends because the master's and PhD thing really, like if I feel gaslit, then I'm gonna be upset about it.
Yeah,
But if I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, like that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was talking to Mariah and she was like, authors make mistakes too. And I was like, yeah, I'm not saying that they're perfect. However, I feel like that's what you
go
have a
through
publisher
full
and then
team.
yes.
Yeah.
And you're telling me every single person missed that and me just some like Joe Schmo reader is the only one catching it? Like I think that's what annoys me the most about the inconsistencies.
Yeah. The taco thing seems to be like a really big thing that they miss. Like what's like if it's like a random word in a random page, it's like accidentally misspelled. That's like okay, yeah, that happens. But like
yeah,
a
typos
full
happen.
miss
Yeah.
thing like that, I'm like, dang, yeah, I agree with you on that one. But I rarely notice those things, and if I do, I'm like, whoopsie.
Yeah.
But if they're like a big plot hole, I'm like, the fuck, hello.
Mhm. Yeah.
Another
one. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Now I'm
I
trying
can
to
tell
think
you
of
a
mine.
pet peeve of mine, and I hate it. So since I
Tell
like
me.
have been reading a lot of romances lately, and like you know how like romances have tropes. There's your
Yes.
grumpy
Yep.
sunshine, friends to lovers, enemy to lovers. So in a lot of romances, there's miscommunication tropes that are so dumb. They're so dumb. It's like, hi, romance authors. These people are late, sometimes middle 20s to middle 30s. I think that they can talk to each other. Like, just use your words. That's all you gotta do. Like, that's how relationships work. You have to talk to each other. Like, say these things. I understand, like, if it's a YA and there's miscommunication, like, duh, they're teenagers or idiots. Like, that happens. But again, like, just talk to each other. Just talk to each other. Like, God. Like,
I think
sorry.
I think I can, no, you're fine. I think I can also speak to this, not specifically at the romance piece of it, but I'm just thinking of the Dilemma by B.A. Paris of when the two main characters would have had wouldn't be a book if they just fucking talked to each other. Because like the dad was keeping a secret that the daughter might be dead, and then the mom was keeping a secret. I don't even remember what her secret was, to be honest with you. But then they were just having like it was a mom's like 50th birthday or some shit like that. Like they had a bunch of people over, and they were like, oh, I don't want to bother the other person with this right now. And then the other would come up and be like, hey, is everything okay? You're kind of acting weird. And they'd be like, no, sweetie, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's your out right there. Talk to your fucking partner and say, hey, I think our daughter's dead. And you know what? Spoiler alert, she was. Sorry. I hated that book so much because the dilemma was that they didn't fucking communicate.
Yeah, it's like there's no I mean, obviously there's people who don't communicate, but there's no way that they don't freaking say this stuff. That's so illogical. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like and there's like stuff in romances that like normal couples would be like bring that stuff up. They would say things like okay, example after I do. Like I feel like
You didn't even talk about that book.
yeah, cuz I read it this month. I literally finished it March, so that's gonna be a March book. But like in After I Do,
Oh, oopsies. Sorry.
no, you're totally fine. And After I Do, like if we went to a restaurant and Mike hated it, that man's gonna tell me he hated it. Like, and now we're not gonna go back.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like communicating and just being like, hey, I'm not really feeling this food tonight. Like you could make up an excuse and be like, it hurts my stomach.
Yeah, like if you're
Or I'm not
really
feeling it.
legitimately like concerned that you're hurting the person's feelings, just like you got to be honest. You got to talk to each other. Like that's and like they were together for a while. Like I think you've established the point where it's like you guys can say this shit to each other. Like Mike and I say stuff to each other all the time. Like that's just how it is. Just say things to each other. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like talk.
I can't wait for the podcast to hear you and I talk about that book. Because we already argued about it. Not like argued. We just talked about it. We didn't argue.
It was a good civil conversation.
Not like reminders of him. That was a fucking brawl.
Brawl.
And Danielle and I are going to fist fight over that book someday.
that will transition into my next
oh my gosh,
pet peeve.
I was supposed to be thinking and then I forgot.
But isn't that a good one though? Like it's just like so frustrating when authors put misconnect and they're stupid. They're always dumb. I'm like, why?
Yeah. I think, and again, I'm thinking of books that I didn't like and the reasons why I didn't like them. So I'm also gonna think of No Exit and just think of like when authors use slurs and use like really descriptive, gross words that just are unnecessary. Like even when you think of romance novels and they're like, never mind, I can't even say it.
When they fucking
describe in detail all of the fucking boinking that's going on.
But that's the thing. It's like some people really like that, and that's okay. Like, go off, do your thing, but like,
shout out Carrie with Oliver.
Carrie loves smut.
I know she does. I will have to tell you off this about what happened with her. It's nothing bad. It's hilarious, but it calls out some people on book Instagram, and I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
So after we're done recording, I will tell you all about it. But she's got a lot of sinning books on her bookshelf. Let me just say that. Is she
reading priests and stuff?
Oh, well, she's just got a lot of sinning books, period. And
I saw she posted one today.
Oh boy. But yeah, we were talking actually because I was gonna get her something for her wedding.
I told her I wanted to go to her shower this weekend, and she said,
"Oh, it's this weekend?"
Yeah, she said, "Okay." I'm like, "Why was I not invited?" And then she goes, "Okay, pack up your car and bring Morgan." And I was like, "Perfect."
Oh,
I know, she's so funny. I love Carrie.
We were talking about like her, like reading smut, and I looked because we were talking because her wedding is like your birthday weekend, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. It's in May.
Because we were talking about birthdays because her and I are around like a week apart for our birthday. She's in October, which I can 100% see that she's a Libra. Holy shit. However, God damn it, I gotta find it. I was looking on Amazon for like smut reader things that would have been funny, and I found a glass. Did she tell you about this?
No.
I found a glass that said, oh my God. Oh, here it is. When I think about books, I touch my shelf.
Yo.
And then we were talking about, it was so funny. I'm sorry. Hold on.
No, you're totally fine. That's so funny. Oh my God.
Oh, we were talking about our birthdays since they're in October, and I accidentally typed Cocktober, and it was funny because we were talking about smut, and she said Cocktober. It's like Toyotathon for smut readers. So I'm gonna try and get that made up on a shirt and get it for her wedding.
Carrie quotes.
Or it could be like a jersey, and it could be like Cocktober on the top, and then the number could naturally be 69, and then on the front it would be like it's like Toyotathon for smut readers.
That's so funny. Oh,
Carrie, skip this episode.
oh, that's so funny. Oh my God.
Oh my
She's
God.
a freaking nutball.
Oh, remind me to tell you about that afterwards.
I
Because
told
I
her
might forget.
I was messaging her. This is the episode where we talk about Carrie. Anyway, I was talking to her and I told her I was gonna slap her in the face for some reason. And she goes, oh, I said I'll come drive to PA and I'm slapping in the face. She goes, I'd take a bonk to meet you. I was like, the fuck?
The shit that she says is fucking hilarious.
She's so funny. Oh yeah, she's like, I'd take a bonk to meet you in real life. I'm like, what the fuck? She's so good. Anyway, do you have a pet peeve?
No, I still do. I mean, this is a one that you and I are going to agree on. It's kind of a cop-out, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Dog-earing pages in your books.
Of course, yeah.
That's
really
a
bugs
given.
me.
That was the one that I was saving when I didn't have anything to say, and that's what I'm using right now.
Yeah, I can confirm that really bugs me. But like, whatever. I mean, if I'm borrowing somebody's book and they dog ear, like, I'm talking the people who take their book.
Oh my God, you're about to destroy one of your books.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna fake it. But like, they take their book and they dog ear like heavy dog ear. Like their whole page is just like.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? I'm like, do you want me to make you a bookmark? I can do that for you.
Right. But if you have book of the month, you get one every single
you
month.
Get one every month. It's just that, like, I think it's because I want my pages to be nice.
As I feel like you should.
Yeah. I mean, we're spending like $16 to $30 on these books. I'm gonna keep my pages nice if I can. But yeah, that's a good one. It's funny.
It was my cop out. I'm still trying to think of another one because there's so many, but we just weren't prepared. So.
Yeah, there's a lot. I was gonna say my next one, and this is like me being a Colleen Hoover hater, but I'm gonna still try to like read her books. Like, I don't want to like completely stop reading her because like there are books that I probably will really enjoy by her. You know,
she's done some fucked up shit though. Like, I really can't get past the
coloring book.
Yes, I really can't get past the coloring book. Like, that was such a really shitty decision. And she was a part of the casting for It Ends With Us and kind of fucking fumbled that big time. Like, Blake Lively is, I mean, I'm sure she'll do great, but like, everybody had a specific 2 people cast in mind. And they would have been absolutely perfect, and she didn't pick them.
She just didn't do it. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I saw the casting, and I haven't even read this book. I don't know. I know what it is about, but like, I'm like,
yeah,
I haven't even read about it. And I was like, Blake Lively, what? Like,
yeah, and the person that they are potentially, it's not confirmed yet, but the person that they're looking at for Atlas, who is like the world's book boyfriend, who loves this book,
love him. Yeah,
is fucking ugly.
No,
I'm sorry if people, and maybe I just saw a bad picture of him, but like,
yikes.
No.
Yeah. See, that's like, it's like, gosh. But anyway, pet peeve when you make toxic things romantic, like fucking your dead husband's best friend. I mean,
Danielle, we're not gonna talk about reminders of him. You dirty bitch. We're not gonna do it.
All right, well, that's what a blow.
You didn't know when
how
they
about
hooked up.
stalking
Don't spoil anything for me.
Fine.
Thank you. Now I know November 9th has stalking in it. Thank you. I will say, yes, I hear what you're saying, but I just need to say something specifically about It Ends With Us and that, which I know you're not calling out, but and this could be my next my next toxic trait, my next
Your next
thing on here.
pet peeve.
I am really getting sick of people who don't understand domestic violence saying that Colleen Hoover is romanticizing domestic violence in It Ends With Us. That is my biggest pet peeve with that book, because people say that they're romanticizing it when Lily is getting the shit kicked out of her and she's like, I can change him. It'll all be okay. Like that's what happens.
Real life.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And that is like the biggest. I will go in like the comment section of someone who said that just to be like, no, like that's not clearly you're telling me you don't know anything about DV. And that's fine if you don't, like, it's not like super widely known that everybody knows all that stuff or like people have been through it. But statistics, 1 in 7 women specifically have experienced some type of domestic violence in their life. So I would hope that more people knew about it in the sense of like knowing that that's not her romanticizing it. That's actually what happens in a relationship. Like this is a spoiler-ish. Not really a spoiler. It's just something that happens in the book, and I know you want to read it eventually, potentially.
It's on my shelf, and I need to, and I want to because I would like to see the movie.
But he like kicks her down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
He like throws her down the stairs.
About the stairs scene on the freaking coloring book. I'm like, damn, what the heck?
Yeah, he throws her down the stairs, and then like I'm pretty sure at one point he like sexually assaults her too.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
And then it turns into like, well, he's my husband, so that's and that's what's like told to her. Yeah. And then after he kicks the shit out of her, she's like, well, I just shouldn't have done that. Like I pissed him off, which is what happens.
Yeah.
And that's not like, sorry.
No, you're fine. To back up Morgan works with, this is her job. Like she understands. She's not just spouting this stuff out of her butthole. She knows what's.
I might be.
No, she's not. Morgan understands this is what she does for a living. She knows the statistics. She's well informed. This is what she does.
Thank you.
So like she's not just saying this, like she knows. She sees it every day. So like
it just that is, and when people say that that's just the reason why they don't like that book, I think that's why it bugs me, because I know Colleen Hoover is just a polarizing person in the community, and I know people are like her, don't like her, whatever, and that's fine. I'm not shitting on you if you really just genuinely didn't like that book.
No, so like with that, I think I know going into it that like especially from you and like you telling me what it's about and like knowing and like being your best friend and you tell me these things, like I would go into that knowing that that's not her romanticizing it. This is her telling the story of this woman, and like this is how this is what real life, this is what people deal with, and that's how it is in real life. Like but like the reminders of him, and then the November 9th thing, I was like, oh boy. But yeah, but I'm not quitting Colleen Hoover. Like I do say that, like, and this might make me a hypocrite, whatever, but like it's also me trying to continue to understand and like enjoy things that like I don't necessarily like, and I want to give it a shot again. It's like if I don't like it, maybe there's something else that she wrote that I would like. Like I did like Verity a lot. And like maybe that I've read more romances, I would like her stuff more.
Maybe. She's just, and I'm like, you know me, I'm not a huge romance person. Reminders of Him, we've already had that discussion, and I'm not getting into it now. I loved it. Danielle hated it. She's wrong. I'm right. That's what it is. That's just what's gonna happen. I can't continue arguing with you on this. I'm gonna die. I literally am. I'm just kidding. But that's just the one thing. Like Layla by Colleen Hoover kind of sucked. Like I didn't really like it. Verity, and then I read Regretting You. That one was just kind of meh. People really like that book. I didn't hate it, but it was just meh.
Yeah, I have It Ends With Us and Hopeless on my shelf. So like I think the next one
I think is like a smutty book. Is it?
Great. I don't know.
I don't know. Let me look.
But on that note, I'm gonna double down on pet peeve of mine. So, and I don't know, like I know with Colleen Hoover, and I just found this out recently. Double backing on her. And this is not me crapping on her again, but like other authors need to do this too. Like if there is a difficult topic in the book, they need to put resources
Yeah.
for these things in either the end
Mhm.
or the beginning. Like it's just like for me, I think that like will make they understand that this is a topic they're writing
Yeah.
about and it's difficult for some people, and like they might not understand that that's like this isn't normal, and like what if like this book they're
Mhm.
reading, they understand it and they're like, wow, I should really call this resource. You might be able to change somebody's life, you know? So like if somebody's
Yeah.
reading it
Yeah.
ends with us, and again, she has resources at the beginning of the book, and I just like learned this recently.
She does?
That's what uh Adrienne told me, my friend, on book Instagram, because I brought
Hold
it
on.
up in our group of romance readers. Yeah, she
Let me
did
look.
send a picture. There are
I just don't
resources.
remember seeing it.
I think she said, I don't know if she has an ebook or if like the physical, but there is. I don't know if it's in the beginning or the end. So, but
Not in the beginning. Let me
but
see.
like again, like
Yep. Resource. It's in the back of the book.
yeah, so like I think that's really important to have like a number or a website. Like I think that that needs to be more of a normalized thing for, and that's kind of like a subtle way to say like triggers without saying trigger warning, you know? Oh, she has her headphones off.
Sorry, that took longer than
No,
expected.
you're fine. You're fine. I said something and I was like, "Oh, she has her headphones off." I said it's kind of a subtle way to do trigger warnings without saying trigger warning. You know, like have
Yeah.
the resources and then that's your trigger. Like,
I think too, I agree with everything you just said. I think too, it should be specifically focused in like YA books
yes,
because you think about
double
like,
down on that.
did you just say that?
No, I'm doubling down. On
Oh,
what
I thought
just
you said
said.
I just doubled down on
No,
it.
no.
Sorry. Just because, and I know that like not all teenagers just read YA books, but I think that's kind of where a lot of teenagers potentially get their start.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're reading something that has triggers in it, and then at the end, like knowing that if there's a book that has like suicidal ideation in it or like bullying or anything like that, a teenager who probably isn't going to reach out to anybody because they feel like they have no one will see those resources and utilize them.
Yeah, and
And
hopefully that like
yeah,
pushes them to go. Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree too with like everything that you just said with it being in like all books that have trigger warnings in them. But I also too, and this might be something that goes on to my next
Pet peeve.
pet peeve, but it still is still on the topic of what you just said. So I'm not like completely skipping over it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you because I just don't remember who posted this, but it was a review on book Instagram and it was a book that had trigger warnings. Like I don't remember what book it was either, but it was a book that had triggers in it. And the person who reviewed the book said um basically along the lines of I'm not going to tell you what the triggers are. You have to do that research yourself in order to read this book. And it was just kind of like telling people don't go into books without reading the trigger warnings, but I'm not going to tell you what the trigger warnings are. You have to figure that out yourself.
That's why you're
Which
a book Instagrammer. You're informing others.
right. And it was I feel like it was somebody who had a lot of followers, so like one of the bigger pages. This was a while ago.
Yeah,
But
that
I
it
just
seems
was
sassy.
like, okay, you're not going to tell us about the trigger. Like that's where you're, especially on your platform, if you have a lot of followers, be like, hey, so It Ends With Us was a great book. However, trigger warnings, domestic violence,
Yeah,
all the other things that are
yeah.
fucking in there. Like,
That's what you're there for. You're literally helping other
yeah,
readers, like the people who follow you, to see this review, and like if there's something in there that somebody might not like, you're there.
right.
That's why you're there. You're doing these things. It's why you get the arcs. That's why you get these arcs. You're helping other people find books that match their
Yeah.
readings. Yeah. Yeah, that bothers me. I was gonna say, like, for an example of another book that like really should, I mean, she has trigger warnings, but I don't know if she had resources in it. But like The Last Housewife, that like that's another example of books that really should, the
Oh,
Ashley
yeah.
Winstead one, that should really have like pages of like places for these people. So like that's just another one that like, so
Yeah. I think too, that's another thing that also, yes, it's on the authors, of course. However, it also is on like the reviewers too, to be like, if you are struggling, like here's trigger warnings, here's resources.
Yeah.
I don't put resources in my reviews. Maybe that's something that I need to work on if I'm reading something with trigger warnings. But when I posted for Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October, I think I put like the national hotline or something like that for like the country. But I don't think I've ever focused on putting any other resources
Yeah. Yeah.
ever. Like that's not something that I've ever done.
I haven't either, but like that's an interesting like thing to think about. Like if you're doing like the stacks for like awareness of things, like if you're doing a stack,
Yes.
like share
Yes.
your source for your state or like your surrounding area that doesn't give away your freaking address. But like yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you could do like the national one because again, my sole knowledge is on domestic violence, but if you call the like national domestic violence hotline, they'll ask the person on the phone like, "Okay, where are you calling from? I can connect you to like your local." So like
Yeah,
my
see,
job
that's
too,
nice. Yeah.
we'll get calls from like the New York State hotline and they'll be like, "This person called in, but they live in your county, so can you talk to them?" And they'll connect them to us. So if you
Yeah.
don't know your local resource, you can call the national or the state and they'll tell you what that resource is.
Nice. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And that's like something
Mhm.
good that like maybe somebody else didn't know and you just informed somebody
Yeah.
about something today. So yeah, that's like one thing that like um as people who read like heavier books, like I like farts and sunshine, but I do pick up heavier books sometimes.
I thought you were just saying a title of a book was I Like Farts. And I was like, that does sound like a book that your dumbass would read.
But yeah, no, I think that it's like a nice way to put a trigger warning without being like trigger
Yeah.
this and this.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that a pet peeve? No, but it's a suggestion. Maybe it is a pet peeve.
Well, I think we're kind of like, we knew that this topic was going to kind of spiral out into other conversations. So I think that's not really a pet peeve per se,
Yeah.
but it's like a suggestion, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it is because like I'm just thinking about like some of the books I read and I was like, dang, there's just a lot.
And I think, again, like there are books that I know are triggering for Danielle that I'm just kind of like, hey, I know you want to read this book. You need to know this ahead of time before going into reading it. Or I know that you don't really like reading books with this in it. Just so you know, this has this in it. Like
Yeah.
without any spoilers, like looking out for people. And obviously, like, I mean, you don't have to go around and tell anybody you ever talk to what your triggers and everything is, because that's not, if you're not comfortable doing that, that's fine. But like, if I know that there's something that Danielle is like, about reading just for her own mental health, I'm gonna let her know.
Yeah, and that's just like being a good friend and a good like person. If like
Yes.
especially if like like not a lot of people know. Like I don't think a lot of people know my specific triggers just because I haven't shared with everyone. But like,
Well, yeah, of course,
like,
and like that goes for
know.
everybody. Yeah, and like that's, I mean, there are things that I'm just kind of like, I mean, I feel like the only thing that I don't really love reading is smut, and everybody knows that. However, there are definitely certain things that I'm just kind of like about.
Yeah.
But not everybody knows that. So like obviously share with whoever you
feel the comfortableness with.
Yes. And Danielle and I are very trusting and very understanding people. So if you need resources or if you need suggestions based on like, hey, I want to find a book that's a thriller, but I don't want it to have like suicidal ideation in it, can you give me a suggestion? You know?
Oh yeah.
That's what this platform is used for. The podcast.
The pod. Yeah, we're always open. We got our DMs either on our personal page or the boozed and reviewed page. We're always there.
Can you send messages on YouTube? On the YouTube?
Yeah.
There you go.
Message on YouTube. It might take me 12 years, but I'll get to it.
Okay, Instagram. If it's urgent, Instagram. YouTube, if you can wait, YouTube.
Do you have another one?
I think it's your turn, technically. Or was it my turn?
Nah.
I mean, I don't like typos.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one that after a while, like if it happens a lot, I'm just kind of like, all right. If I see a typo the first time, I'm like, okay, nobody caught that, like, and it just got printed, whatever, that's fine. But if I see like 5, I'm like, all right, who the fuck edited your book and why was it not me?
I have a pet peeve, and I don't even know if it really relates, but
Tell me.
if the book goes to a movie or a TV show and it doesn't match the book.
So I really, as soon as you were about to say that, in my head, I swear on my life, in my head, I was like, you can talk about book to movie adaptations next.
Stole it from you.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but just for an example, because like a lot of people say don't freaking watch it. It doesn't match the book at all. The one on Netflix versus the
I
one
still
in the
haven't
book.
watched it.
Yeah. Like, why
Because
do you
it's
do
not
that?
accurate. It's not
Yeah.
accurate. And I really am pissed off about that because John Mars played a part in that. Not played, like acted,
He
but
was
played a
part of
part
it.
in.
The
Yeah, and he
development.
was like, you know what? It's not going to be exactly like the book, but it's still going to be focused on the person who like created this idea.
Yeah.
And I
It's
was
just
like,
like,
but the book was so much better. Like, I
yeah.
would have very much loved seeing that on screen, and I was upset by that.
That's what makes me like, and it makes me nervous.
hmm
Real fast. It makes me really nervous to watch Daisy Jones. Like, is Daisy
Get the
Jones.
fuck out of my head! Get out of my head! I was gonna tell you that I watched the first episode of Daisy Jones yesterday, and it was actually decent.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to watch
There's
it.
God, get the fuck out of my head.
Yeah, I'm like, it makes me nervous because like, and then I was talking to really freaking fast. This is so random, but it's like related to Daisy Jones. So my friend Jocelyn read Daisy Jones for the first time and did the audio, and she said, you know what bothers me is that the audio narrators were old because it's supposed to be. And I was like,
Young.
wow, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that, but like, she's like, well, aren't they supposed to be like reviewing the life of the band and when they were younger and they sound young? And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So,
Well, yes and no, but they're doing the documentary as they're older.
yeah. Yeah.
So, what I was gonna say too, and this isn't a spoiler, I just was very excited when we watched it yesterday because Josh is also into like 70s music just in general. So he was like, fuck it, I'll watch it with you. And Danielle, it felt like an actual documentary.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
so
Oh, I'm
cool
so
how they
excited to
did
watch it.
it. A picture like, and I watch true crime documentaries, but like
Mhm.
picture a documentary that you're watching and it'll be like the person is interviewing and like
Mhm.
for me, like Daisy is sitting right here and talking to the person recording it. And then she's like, yeah, so this was about my life. And then it goes into a dramatization of her life. And then it goes back to like
Her
the
being interviewed.
band. And
Oh,
no, it switches over to like the band. And then the first episode was really, really, really good. I'm actually really impressed.
I can't wait to watch it now. You made me really
So
excited. You know what's so impressive about that whole thing too is they made a whole ass album for that show.
I know. Oh my
It's
God.
so
So good.
like I'm like so excited about it all. Like I'm gonna watch the whole show and then do the album just because it will like it's
Yeah.
like watching a musical and then re-listening to the whole album again because you like and then you get like the memes from the movie.
hmm
Yeah, I am so excited to read that. I mean, watch it. I can't wait.
It was I only watched the first episode. There's only 3 out right now, and I think next they're gonna just do weekly episodes.
Hmm.
Um, but it was very good, and it's really like I feel like even after reading Daisy Jones and the Six, it was difficult to picture like and remind yourself that this didn't happen.
Yeah, it's like I started reading
She
that
made it
book
all
and
up. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, dang, is this a real band? Like a lot of people, and I think that I was reading in the author's note after, and she says she even mentions that people like came up to her and were like, "Is this a real story?" I had to Google it. Are
Yeah.
these a real band? Yeah.
And the way that they made I'm actually really excited, and for some reason, I forgot that it was like a documentary or like whatever in the book. But as it came up, I was like, because they start out like Billy's the first one that comes on. And um, I know. But after remembering that he was Finnick in the Hunger Games, he came on screen and I was like, because Josh asked me beforehand, he was like, do we know any of these actors? And I was like, no, I really think that they're all like not randos, but like unknown people. And then he came on screen and Josh was like, I know him. Where is he from? And I looked him up because I was like, I don't know, I forgot. But Billy came on screen and they started doing that, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're actually gonna do it like a documentary. Like it's not gonna be just their story. They're making it as if it already happened and they're
Yes.
interviewing them, which is really
Oh,
cool."
I'm so excited to watch the first episode. Frick yeah. So much TV.
I know. We just Danielle started picking up on the season of Masked Singer that we left off on like a year ago.
Holy, I would just not even
Mhm.
watch it.
Well, yeah, but I want to watch the new season that just came out.
Me too, but here we are, probably not going to watch it. I love Masked Singer, though. You know how much I love that show.
Yeah.
Is it my turn? No, it's not.
Is it?
Also, we can end anytime you want because we are at almost 2 hours.
Maybe we just leave it at that. And then also, if you guys have any like pet peeves
Oh
or
my
anything like
gosh.
that you want, like people should DM us and we can read them and like talk about them and be like, do we agree?
Yeah.
Do we disagree? Do we feel any similar way?
We should do that for one
But
episode, though. Like, do like a few weeks ahead before recording and like do
yes,
like an
yes.
opinionated thing or like, and then talk about it via pod and then put it out.
Yes, we could do that.
That
Write
sounds
that
like
down.
fun. Oh,
Write it down.
got it in my noggin. No, I'll write it
No,
down.
write it down.
I don't even have any paper near me.
I mean, you type it in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Type it in the chat. There you go.
I'll just write it down. I got it. Anyway.
I
think that was a good solid list. And we talked a lot.
was-
Like,
yeah. I think too, we did all of that with nothing written down at all. So
yeah.
I'm proud of us. Well, hold on.
Okay. Sorry, I was just writing down the idea. Okay. I'm here.
I know you are. You're fine. I don't remember what I was going to say. I already forgot.
I have a question.
Yep.
Real quick. Did you discover anything new, whether it's music, an activity, a show, a movie that you saw this last month, aka February, or the beginning of this month, that you really want to share with somebody?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
I
Hit me.
love reality television.
Yes.
We all know that, I think. Trash TV, stuff like that. However, two things. I don't know if I told you and Mike this already, but Josh and I found this show. I think it just came out. Well, it's just finished, but when we found it, it had just come out on live TV, and it's the Special Forces.
Yes, you did tell me about this.
It was so interesting to watch, and it's all celebrities. Like Hannah Brown is on it.
So it's on Fox, yes? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's on Fox. So
we watch it on Hulu.
So give a little quick synopsis about what it is. I know what it is because I work for a Fox station. So
right. So it's literally, I think it's 16 celebrities. So just to name a few, there's Dwight Howard, who's an NBA All-Star. Let me actually look up the cast.
Hannah Brown from Bachelor.
Bachelorette, Special Forces TV show cast. Danny Amendola, who is a NFL star. Melanie Mel B. Brown, who is a Spice Girl. Hannah Brown. Tyler Florence, who is a celebrity chef. Kate Goslin, who is John and Kate plus 8.
Yep.
She was fucking annoying.
She was annoying.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard, who's I just said NBA All-Star. Montel Jordan, who is an R&B star. Gus Kenworthy, who is an Olympic skier. Natasha Lukin, who's an Olympic gymnast. Carly Lloyd, who is a former USA soccer player. Beverly Mitchell, who she was in Seventh Heaven.
Wow, they got a real good mix of people for this.
Oh, there's still more. Kenya Moore, who is on Real Housewives.
Oh, jeez.
Mike Piazza, who's MLB, All-Star, I think. Mm-hmm. Dr. Drew was on it. Dr. Drew. Anthony Scaramucci, who he was kind of a fucker. He worked for Trump. He was like a Trump communications director, but he was fired after like 7 days. And Jamie Lynn Spears.
So random. Like
such a random group of people, but it was so interesting to watch. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's kind of good that they did that because like imagine if it was all athletes, you'd be like,
well, yeah. And let me tell you, are you going to watch it?
No.
Hannah won.
No way.
Hannah was her and Carly Lloyd, which I personally don't think, like, Carly didn't do a super great job throughout everything, but she kept picking up and like shaking it off and going on.
Yeah.
Hannah did not fucking break.
Good for
She
her. Go
I
off,
think you
Hannah
guys
Brown.
should watch it. It was such like I mean, I think watching Bachelor and Bachelorette and seeing her kind of like growth
Yeah.
after everything she's and reading her book and just knowing all the things that she's been through, it was like a proud mom moment for me to be like,
Yeah. Go
yeah,
Hannah. No,
because she like she's on there as a pageant star. Of
Mhm.
course, she's not gonna make it far. It's literally so it's a bunch of Navy SEAL officers um who are like special forces. So they've been on so many um I can't think of the word right now, but they've done so many things like in war.
Yeah,
They've been kidnapped, they've been what are you going to say?
I was gonna try to figure out the word, but I couldn't either.
Um and they just have a bunch of different challenges like mental strength, physical strength. They have ones where they have to like the very first challenge was they had to fall backwards like this out of a moving helicopter into the water. And they have to land not on like a belly flop or anything like that. And you can fail a task and still continue on. So like Carly Lloyd failed a lot of her tasks, but they don't kick you off. Like it's not
Yeah. Mhm.
you're doing it for 10 days. You can voluntarily leave at any point. You just have to sit. And some people were taken out like medically. Like there was a couple people who like got injured. Or they're out in the middle of the desert in the country Jordan. So like the heat and the humidity and you're not hydrated enough and you're not prepared for that.
Yeah.
But we actually just finished the show
Ser
this morning.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's basically celebrities
Mhm.
doing a doing doing pretty much army training.
It is, and if you like any of the people that I just named off, I think you should watch it because it's very interesting seeing them kind of go through that too because a couple of them were kind of like shitheads in the beginning and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be so easy." And they're like Navy SEAL officers that are not taking any shit and they're like, "Drop down and give me 50 push-ups, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, knock it
Yeah.
off."
It
And
sounds really good.
some of the growth of the characters was actually really rewarding to watch too. Like a couple of them had like a difficult career and they come into this and they're like, I'm just trying to redeem myself. And they're there for 10 days. It's just 10 days. And while we're watching it, it feels like a month.
They're like there for
So,
forever.
yes, I would highly suggest if you enjoy reality television. We just found that randomly, and I actually saw that Hannah was on it. That's why I wanted to watch it. And in my head, too, I feel so bad. In my head, I was like, she's probably not going to last that long, honestly. But she ended up winning. I was so proud.
That's awesome,
Spoiler,
dude.
sorry.
Nah. So on the topic of shows,
Yeah.
Mike and I are currently watching Full Swing on Netflix, and on the theme of golf, it is a Netflix documentary about the PGA, and they literally like each episode kind of focuses on a few different professional golfers, and it kind of goes through like what's going on in golf, and it's really shot really well and really cool. If you're really into golf, I highly recommend it. It's so good. And like I don't know if you know what's going on with golf, but
Nope.
so there's the PGA, it's like it's like a huge thing, and like that's like the where people want to go for when they play professional golf.
Oh
But
my God, that's so bright.
this last year, what's the other golf league called? Mikey? Yeah. So there's last year this other golf league in Saudi Arabia called Live Golf just got started, and there's a lot of like issues going around with it, and like there's a bunch of professional golfers quitting and going there, and it kind of focuses on that, and it's really interesting. Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting. Like Phil Mickelson stopped doing the PGA, and he's now in Live, and like they can't come back and do PGA tournaments.
Ever? After they leave?
Yep. They're banned.
Oh.
They are banned. Yeah. So it's really interesting. You learn a lot about golf. And it's like somebody who isn't an avid golfer, knows a lot about golf, can watch because they're very educational about it. Like they explain like, okay, when you go in a tournament, there's like your cutoff line is on Thursday, Friday, and you have to play, and then there's a cutoff line, and they explain it really well. And I thought that, I don't know, it was really good. We're like wicked into it. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's what
If
we
you like
discovered.
golf, watch that. That
Hi.
actually sounds interesting, and I don't even like golf.
It's really like there's a lot of drama in the golf world like going on. So
Oh boy.
yeah, so
Petty bitches.
it's really good. So I highly suggest that, and that's what we discovered this month that we're really into. So yeah.
Wow.
Do you have anything to say before we finish her up?
I don't think so. I'm hoping that I hope I have a better reading month, but I mean that in the sense of like reading more books, not like the quality of the books, because the quality of the books was decent this month.
I was gonna say I feel like you lived a full bookish life this month because you had like good quality books you read.
Yeah, I read
Minus the
6
Angel
books.
Mag.
Well, listen, I was excited to get that book, so I will just be okay with that. I think there was just a disconnect, I think, with me and the book, and that's fine. I read 6 books. It just didn't feel like 6 books because I read a lot before Hogwarts Legacy came out, and then I read 2 books after Hogwarts Legacy came out. Maybe 3. So I read them all in the beginning. Hogwarts Legacy came out, and then I just played a bunch of games, and then I was like, "Ooh, shit." Like I didn't read a lot. And then after going back, I was like, "Oh, I did. I read 6." Like that's a good amount for me.
I mean,
but
here's the thing. If you read 1 book a month, you're crushing it. There's people who don't read ever. So
yes,
I think whatever you read, you should be proud with.
I agree. And that was not me saying in any way that anybody reading less books than me is.
Oh, no, I know. But I was pumping you up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just feel like sometimes I feel like 6 is average for me, so I didn't do any different than I'm used to, but it just felt weird because I feel like I read The Housemaid's Secret, the second book, in a day, last week, and then Pack Up the Moon, and then nothing.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't blame you because if we weren't doing the things that we were doing this month,
yeah,
that would probably be me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm excited for my reading month next month. There's a lot of good books. Yeah.
I started What the Fireflies Know or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Goodreads. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's got orange cover and it's got fireflies on the front.
It's giving me Crawdads vibes, but not. It's just very much like, oh my god, you all right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's giving me Crawdads vibes in the sense of their parents left when they were very young and they're kind of raising themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be similar in any other way. I'm only 50 pages in just because I haven't been feeling like reading. Work has been super stressful lately, so I've come home from work late and then I get home and I'm just kind of I don't really want to read. So that's also kind of where I've been at too.
Yeah. You know what comes out this month?
What comes out this month?
The Last Carolina Girl.
Listen, I got that as a NetGalley book.
Did you start it?
I started it and I couldn't get into it, and I think it lapsed.
Fuck. No, I still have it. Did you download it on your Kindle? They never go away.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look. I read it on my iPad, so not on my Kindle. But
if it's downloaded on your iPad, you have forever.
Did you read it?
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, I did get it, and I tried to read it, and I got it, and I requested it because it said where the crawdads sing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just kind of not really feeling it, which is fine. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it at that point. But
yeah, there's definitely a time and a place for specific books. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, and I think that's what I've been also struggling with because I read a romance-ish sad book.
Yeah,
and a thriller, and I'm just kind of what do I want now?
Yeah. I just yeah. Okay, we're talking too much. I'll talk to you after the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But these are very insightful things.
It really is. We haven't been around for a while. I also haven't talked to you, I feel like face to face.
I know. We are seeing each other's face.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't have anything else to add for the podcast. So I don't know.
We'll announce what we're reading
very soon.
Very soon. We already decided.
Very soon.
We texted each other. Morgan said, we're reading this. I'm like, down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Easy unanimous decision.
Yes, I will maybe post that next week.
Okay, I'll make it
Okay,
for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Nope. Where can they find you?
Oh my gosh, we haven't done this in so long. I already forgot. You can find me at Bookmorgs, BOOKMORGS at Instagram. Where can they find you, Danielle?
Danny Allreads, DANIALLREADS. Hey, ho! I said, hey,
Yeah.
ho.
What has this been, Danielle?
This has been Boozed and
Oh,
Reviewed.
Boozed and Reviewed, baby.
Yeah. See you next time for episode 3. Be on the lookout for our next book and join us.
Join us in the chaos every month.
Sometime at the beginning of the month.
Well, yeah, sometime. We're not going to
There's
stick to
happening.
we just had it's okay. It's all right. We're fine.
In the true chaos that is Boozed and Reviewed, we're going to just drop them whenever.
Yep, exactly. And you just have to deal with it.
Yes, Sugma.
We love you.
Sugma.
Oh my God, is that what you just said? As I said, we love you? Oh my God.